Welcome to the Planning Commission of the City of Moreno Valley. I now call this meeting to order on July 23rd, 2020 at 7 p.m. May we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Gutierrez.
We're not.
One more time, Commissioner Gutierrez.
He's muted.
I'm here.
Right,
Did you hear me?
yes, sir. Thank you. Commissioner
Thank you,
Stephan.
ma'am.
Present.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner DeJournette.
Here.
Commissioner Sims.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Baker.
He's muted.
And I do apologize if media can hear me. If we can please get the commissioners towards the top of the list so I can see all of them.
I'll get on that.
Thank you, sir. And where did Mr. Baker go?
Right here.
There we go. Commissioner Vice Chairperson Baker, you're here. Thank you, sir. Chairperson Corsick.
Present.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody.
The Pledge of Allegiance is going to be led by Commissioner Harris. Commissioner Harris?
Okay, ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
of the United States
of America,
to the republic
for which it
which stands,
one
one nation, under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, and justice for
justice for all.
Thank you.
Do we all go at different speeds?
As long as we say the words and mean it. Here we go.
Yes.
We're now going to move to the approval of the agenda. Could you please raise your hand for a motion and a second, please? Who would like to make a motion to approve the agenda? Commissioner Harris is making the motion. And a second by Commissioner Stephan. May we have the roll call, please, the voting.
Commissioner Gutierrez.
Yes.
Commissioner Stephan.
Yes.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner DeJournette.
Yes.
Commissioner Sims.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Baker.
Yes.
Chairperson Corsick.
Yes, motion carries. Next, we have the public comments procedure. During the public comment period for each item, as well during the public comment period for items not on the agenda, each member of the public who has signed up to speak will have a maximum of 3 minutes to speak. If you do not wish to make public comments, please be aware that if you are attending this meeting through the Zoom platform, you will be displayed as a speaker. Those wishing to view the meeting without making comments can do so online via the city's website at www.moval.org/MV3LIVE. This link is available through the city's website. It can also be viewed on YouTube Live, and on channel MVTV3. The next item is for public comments on any item not on the agenda. Are there any speakers at this time?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The consent calendar. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and non-controversial and may be enacted by one motion unless a member of the commission requests that an item be removed for separate action. Items withdrawn for a report or discussion will be heard after the public hearing items. Questions or comments from the public on a consent calendar matter are limited to 3 minutes per individual and must pertain to the subject under consideration. Number one are the minutes of the June 11th, 2020 meeting. Item 2 are the minutes of June 25th, 2020. Could you please raise your hand for a motion and a second if you find that these are okay?
Looks like
You
we
see
have a
any hands
motion
raised?
from Vice Chairperson Baker.
Yeah, I move that we accept the minutes as submitted.
And a second? I think
Commissioner
Commissioner Bergeras.
I second.
Thank you. Okay, let's do the roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bergeras,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefan,
yes,
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner DeJournette,
I think I have to abstain this one because I was absent June 25th.
did you read the minutes?
I did.
If you're
Then-
agreeing with them, I believe you can still contribute, but it's up to you.
Okay, no, then yes.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Sims,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Baker,
Yes.
Chairperson Corsick.
Yes, motion carries. Next, under non-public hearing items, we have no items for discussion. Next, we have public hearing items. The next item on the agenda is public hearing items. Item number 1A, conditional use permit for a cannabis dispensary for Harvest of Moreno Valley LLC. Can we have the staff report, please?
I do apologize, Patty.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senior Planner Sean Keller is going to present this report for you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Commissioner Sean Kelleher, Senior Planner. The project before you this evening is a conditional use permit for a new commercial cannabis dispensary, Harvest of Moreno Valley. Next slide, please. The project site is located at the northwest corner of Sunnymead Boulevard and Indian Avenue in the Rolling Ridge Plaza. Next slide. The project site is located within the Village Specific Plan SP 204 Village Commercial Residential VCR District. The proposed cannabis dispensary is a conditionally permitted use within this district. Next slide. The proposed dispensary will be located within a 1,376 square foot suite in the Rolling Ridge Plaza. The overall parking requirement for the Rolling Ridge Plaza is 78 parking spaces, including 7 spaces for the proposed dispensary. However, a total of 75 parking spaces are available on site. Therefore, a shared parking analysis was prepared for the site pursuant to the shared parking provisions of Section 9.11070, adjustments to off-street parking. The analysis found that the peak demand of the site would occur at 11:30 a.m. and that a total of 23 parking spaces would remain available. That does take into consideration parking for the vacant suites within the center. Therefore, a finding can be made that the shared parking study justifies the requested parking reduction based upon the presence of 2 or more adjacent land uses, which, because of their substantially different operating hours or different peak parking characteristics, will allow joint use of the same parking facilities. Next slide, please. The applicant is proposing tenant improvements within the existing suite, which will include a new customer lobby, mercantile area, offices, and a storage room. The applicant is proposing hours of operation between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. Next slide. Before discussing the proposed modifications to the building, staff would like to note that there were 2 errors on plan sheet A3 elevations of the plan set that was distributed in the packet. The first of note is the east and west elevations were their labels were switched. The second is that the applicant identifies wood siding on the west elevation, or what should have been labeled as the west elevation. Both of these errors were identified in the staff report, and neither of them were cause for requiring the applicant to submit revisions to the elevations. The PowerPoint presented this evening has correctly labeled the elevations. The applicant has proposed modifications to the exterior of the existing building to screen the proposed cells area. These modifications include removal of 1 door on the west elevation facing the interior of the plaza, as shown here, Next slide, please. As well as the replacement of 2 windows on the east building elevation facing Indian Street and replacing them with wood slats matching those already found on the building, as are shown in these elevations here. Staff, however, is recommending a condition of approval requiring the replacement of the windows and door with spandrel glass, which will allow the applicant to close the existing windows and door while retaining the look of the existing building. In addition to the exterior modifications to the building, the applicant has proposed to upgrade the project site in several different ways, including upgrading on-site lighting to meet municipal code standards, installing landscaping in planters where it is missing, installing an ADA path of travel improvements, and installing a bike rack. Next slide, please. The proposed project, as designed and conditioned, complies with the standards of the city's municipal code. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve resolution number 2020-31, certifying that the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, and approve planning case PEN 19-0095, subject to the conditions of approval. This concludes staff's presentation. Staff is available for any questions, and the applicant is available as well. Thank you.
Oh, Commissioner Quigley, we can't hear you.
I know, somehow I got muted again. Do any commissioners have questions for staff? If you do, please raise your hand and you'll be acknowledged. I'm not seeing any hands raised. Okay.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so we don't have any questions at this time. At this time, would the applicant like to speak?
Yes, thank you. Honorable Chair and Commissioners, thank you for allowing the virtual participation, which has become the new norm for all of our meetings. My name is Lauren Niehaus. I am with Harvest Health and Recreation, the parent company of Harvest of Moreno Valley. As Mr. Kelleher mentioned in his report, this dispensary is intended to be located at 24490 Sunnyvale Boulevard. Harvest Health and Recreation has been an operator in the United States since 2012. We proudly operate 4 dispensaries in the state of California, and we're very much looking forward to making Moreno Valley our next home. I know that you guys have participated in quite a few of these cannabis hearings, and being in cannabis, I know what kind of lengthy discussions you've probably been through over the past 2 years. So I will keep it brief. I want to make myself available to answer any questions about the staff report that Sean hasn't already answered, or our intended operations, or anything that I can help clear up.
Thank you. Are there any commissioner questions of the applicant? Raise your hand, please, if you have a question. Looks like Commissioner Harris has a question.
Yes, the name on of this business will be just Harvest.
It will be Harvest of Moreno Valley.
And will it say that on the sign on the building?
Yeah, the signage will say Harvest of Moreno Valley. Unless, Sean, is it in the renderings as just Harvest?
I don't believe that there is any signage actually shown on any of the building elevations at this time.
Yeah, there is actually.
Is there?
Yes.
Well, and here is a comment for me too. We can also take the input of the Planning Commission, and we haven't ordered any signs yet. So this is the preference for it to be shorter to fit with the aesthetic of the other businesses that are in this business complex. That's certainly something that we can adjust.
Because as far as I'm aware, all of our other dispensaries don't contain the name of the city on it. It just will have a name. And I don't know, I just think that maybe that's fair. I don't know. If we haven't let anybody else do it, maybe we shouldn't, to me, I think the name just Harvest sounds okay, but I mean, that's up to you. That's completely up to you. I
know
was
what?
just bringing it up.
Absolutely, and if it's in the purview of this commission to make that decision, or we're happy to work with you in consultation on that so that it does most appropriately fit what your vision is for that space. We have no issue there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question on the other dispensaries you own. Is the name of the city in the title?
It is. We have Harvest of Palm Springs and Harvest of Venice Beach and Harvest of Napa. One of them was not in Grover Beach. It is still named under, it was an acquisition. So it's 805 Beach Breaks operated by Harvest. But those are the four in California. So yes, other states, it kind of depends on different city mechanisms. So we're certainly flexible.
Any other questions from the commissioners? I see no hands raised, and then we will now move to public testimony. Do we have
Thank
any
you.
do we have any public comments at this point?
Yes, we have two. I'm not sure if they're online, but I have Kylie Nugent or Nguyen.
Okay.
It looks like I have two phone numbers. Should I just allow those to speak and see if it's them?
I believe the 951-543-9333. I believe that is Kylie.
Got it. I'll mute that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Oh, I'm the property owner for Palm Plaza. It's one plaza over, and the notice was only sent to the property owner. I have 26 tenants that never got the notice for this public hearing, and that concerns me that if notices are only sent to the landowners, most of them don't really live in that area. And I only got I was lucky to get the notice from the owner, but I'm the property manager and I don't even live in Moreno Valley. So I'm trying to speak on behalf of the people that work there and live nearby, that perhaps notices should be sent to the locals near the area as well, that actually work and live in the area. So I guess that's my comment. And the other concern is that the homeless, I guess the homeless will probably be moving over to our plaza because there's going to probably be more security on that plaza now. So that is a concern for our plaza. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, Kylie.
Yes.
May we have the next speaker, please?
Yes, I have Tom Jarrell. I believe the number ending in 2875 is Mr. Jarrell. Tom Jarrell, if you are with us, this is your time to speak.
Okay, they just unmuted me on my transmit.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. The machine's talking to me. Okay, this is
Awesome.
okay. Am I back again? It's going back and forth between muted and unmuted.
You're back.
Hello? Okay. Yeah, I think there's a little glitch in the machine. Anyhow, this is Tom Carroll. I'm the property manager for the property immediately to the south of the property there, the Sundance Center. I just celebrated 25 years there on July 5th or July 6th, excuse me. So my 25th anniversary. But I've been in Moreno Valley since '81, so I watched this whole area get built. So I have a little bit of history here. First, I'd like to thank Kylie. She's a fellow property manager. She's a good community person. In her comments, I do think in commercial districts, they should notify the businesses. The city should have all that access, and because what you said, it goes to the property owner, and many times they have absentee landlords, and the people that have the businesses that are impacted. So I think it'd be courtesy. And then secondly, I've been working quite a lot there lately, and I never saw the sign. I talked to Commissioner Brugueras. He said that the sign was on Indian Street, but I don't know how I missed it. I thought I was fairly observant. So I just learned of this hearing today. But in reference to what Kylie shared about the homeless being displaced, that place, it's a huge congregation point, and it's a transmission point. They go across Rolling Ridge Plaza, they cut through the fence hole and back, and they go, there's an underground channel there that they habitate in year round effectively. So in fact, at 1 o'clock in the morning, when I was turning off my sprinklers last night, I heard a voice moaning. I could not see any visual. Just about when I was going to go check it out, the security guard showed up, and she found a man rolling around on the sidewalk or on the parking lot there, would be right in front of this place. So yeah, the homeless are a big issue. What I'm grateful of, it's my understanding of when these marijuana facilities come in, they're supposed to provide some general community benefit, and the general community benefit would be to help deter the homeless, not just on their property, but in the surround. I'm not sure exactly how that's done. You're welcome to share my number with the applicant. I'd like to be a good neighbor and help keep the area policed, because I think it will deter their business as well. And if they're all hanging out across the street, some of them get very boisterous. We have a lot of 5150s that can be huge problems from time to time. I was accosted on February 14th of 2019, and so at almost midnight, and so some of them can get problematic, to say the least. We have a lot of interface with PD, so I think at the end of the day, I talked to Commissioner Brugueras, told me about the better lighting, which will be a help. But as I said, the displaced homeless could be just add problems to people like ourselves and the surround there. So, and I have one quick question. Did I understand the square footage to be 1,300 feet? Is that correct? If I could get that answer a little later, I'd appreciate it. But those are my comments, and I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gerald. Are there any other public comments?
No, I did not have anybody else signed up to speak. Thank you.
Would the applicant at this time like to address any of the comments that were made?
Sure, I will very generally, and that, we do definitely follow the city's noticing procedures, so apologize for anybody who didn't directly receive that. There was the mailing and signing postage. But as mentioned by our most recent speaker, absolutely welcome to reach out to us. You can share my contact information, Sean, to be a good neighbor. That's part of why we're coming here, to help better this space. I can't talk about our security plan publicly for obvious reasons of keeping everybody safe. However, I can speak to there has been a trend in many areas across the state and country where crime surrounding dispensaries has gone down, as opposed to crime around pharmacies and drugstores, because of the surveillance, the lighting, and the security presence that exists at dispensaries. So we're hopeful to see that be indicative of what happens in the area because of our presence. So absolutely looking forward to engaging once I go there, and forward to engaging with our neighbors as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, if there are no more public comments, that portion of the meeting is closed, and we're going to move on to commissioner deliberations. Ashley, do we want to do the roll call for the deliberations as usual, please?
Yes, ma'am. Let me get everybody unmuted, and I'll go down the line.
Okay.
All right, Commissioner Brugueras?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great, thank you, thank you. Carly, I want to say thank you so much for attending the meeting tonight. I'm glad that Mr. Gerald was able to get a hold of you so you can also learn and hear what goes on when some of these dispensaries get approved. So when I was talking to Tom this afternoon, I was ensuring him that safety is the #1 priority in Moreno Valley, that the staff makes that their #1 priority in our city, to make sure that you, as a manager, like Mr. Gerald, and the neighbors and the residents that go up and down that boulevard are safe. That is the #1 priority. So I explained to Tom earlier that if approved tonight, that this applicant has to obey 77 conditions in this 1,400 square foot suite. This 1,400 square feet suite has 77 conditions that they have to meet before they get the keys to get in. So that's pretty tough. And we're pretty tough here in the city of Moreno Valley with our dispensaries. So again, it's just gonna be lighting, like the applicant mentioned, security, and I know they all have it. And there's no one can hang out on that plaza because of the conditions that have to be, taken. But I hope that whatever we do with this project, that you at your plaza, that also will have lighting. A lot of lighting will discourage people from doing things, and also for sleeping in corners. Because the homeless don't like a lot of light. They like to hide in the darkness. Like we all know, they like to hide in corners. So, what we want Sonoma Boulevard is to be a bright spot in our city, like it once was when it was here and it was formed as a city years back. We missed that. So you can help. And I know Tom Gerald does a lot at the Sundance, and because I go there to visit him, and he's always doing something for their tenants to make them safe. I hope that whatever we do tonight will help you next door to be a little safer. And that's my goal, is to make sure that you and everyone else in the city of Moreno Valley is safe. And I know my staff, our staff, does that job for us. Thank you, Carly and Tom Gerald, for listening tonight.
Commissioner Stefan?
Yes, I don't have a problem with the dispensary per se. It's unfortunate that some of the other, surrounding businesses don't have the same affordability of being able to have security and maybe lighting. I know Tom, and I know him well, and he does a fantastic job. And he's on top of everything there in his plaza. But I know the other area is awfully large, and once those businesses close, then they are privy to homelessness and things like that. Like I said, I think this plaza is going to be one leg up on them because of the fact that they will have security and lighting, and it will deter any homeless to congregate there anymore. I don't have all the answers, but like I said, as far as this dispensary going in there, I don't see a problem with it. I hope they can work out something, with the other plazas. I don't know what the answer is there. But like I said, with this dispensary, I believe they're going to do a good job, and they do have a lot of vacancies. So right now they're privy to having homeless. But once everything is set up, I'm sure everything will be fine, and hopefully the issue won't be as bad as the other plazas think it might be. That's all.
Commissioner Harris?
Yeah, I think this is a good project. And during some of the questions and the comments, it sounded like if the homeless were to go across the street to the other shopping center, that the dispensary would be responsible for paying for, security in that area, And I don't think that, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, we have homeless all over Moreno Valley. So anyway, that's my opinion. And I think it's a good project, and I'm going to vote for it.
Commissioner DeJournette?
Yeah, I think it's a great project as well. And as I have mentioned once before, with the dispensaries going up, security is paramount. And just kind of addressing the comments there, you know, where we are getting a concentration on Sunnymead Boulevard. A matter of fact, I think this would be the 5th one on the 2400 block of Sunnymead Boulevard. So it's going to be now pretty well lit, and it's going to be security. I mean, there's going to be so here we are on the 5th one on the 2400 block. That's 5 security guards out there and additional lighting. So it's going to probably change the makeup of the 2400 block of Sunnymead. There are others on the 2300 block and that's that other thing. So I would say as these start to go up and people start to see them, they'll start to see improvement. They'll start to see that the liveliness of the Sunnymead Boulevard come back around, and I think it's a great job. I love the lighting and the improvements and the security on there. It probably is going to shift the homeless. Like you said, this will be the 5th one on the 2400 block, so it's probably going to shift that the homeless situation there. So great, it's going to be fantastic.
Commissioner Sims?
I don't really have any comments on this thing. I just as a point of clarification, Commissioner DeJournette did a little homework. There's 12 cannabis businesses in between Heacock and Indian, and some on right there on Heacock between I forget the name of the street, but anyhow, it is what it is. So for whatever it's worth, you can put it in perspective. Over half of the dispensaries that the council of the 23, they're proposed right here. So not saying all of them will be there. You know, I think this is going to be a MMA survival of the fittest on Sunnymead Boulevard. So we'll see what happens. But anyhow, it is what it is.
Yeah, I saw the 12. I was just going on the ones that have come across our desk so far. And we had the 2300, we had 2400 5 times. I don't think we've seen the other ones yet, have we?
Well, 9 have been approved already.
Okay. 3
are pending. I assume one of the pending is this one. So I just, for perspective, if we had 12 liquor stores in that, we'd probably shake our head. So right. I just food for thought.
You know, I mentioned that before, that we're starting to get a concentration on Sunnymead Boulevard with dispensaries, and so it might be, like you said, I like your comment. If there were 12 liquor stores on the 2400 block, we would definitely be shaking our heads about that.
At the end of the day, I'm going to vote for this because I'm a believer in the capitalistic form of government and economy. So hats off to whoever wins, is what I say. And that's just the way it is. I don't have any issues with the conditions or anything. If it fits, the council has already made it clear that this is okay to have in the city, set up the requirements. If the staff has found that it fits what all the requirements are, then it's not for us to say no. So.
Thank you. Vice Chairperson Baker?
Yes, I like the project. I guess I'm a kind of an exterior man, but I do like the idea of the ADA parking lot being brought up to speed, and then the slurry seal. So many of our parking lots here in Moreno Valley are in tough shape, and also the landscape's going to get upgraded, which is good. Then, like they said, the upgrade on the lighting. Lighting is a big deterrent for whoever it be, homeless or who it be. And then the other thing in this plaza, we got 8 suites that are vacant. So this will help that somewhat. So I'm going to vote for it. And I think it's a good project.
Madam Chair?
I think it's a fine project. I think the plans are well done. I think they have followed all the requirements that they are supposed to. I'm impressed they have 4 other locations, including Napa, and Palm Springs or Palm Desert. I'm not sure which one. But that also says to me they have a little bit of a track record. They know what to expect. They've probably dealt with a lot of the issues in these places. I see this as an improvement to the site also with the slurry coat and the lighting. So I am going to vote for this. So with that, are there anyone else, any other commissioners that would like to comment on this item? If not, I will ask for a motion. If you would like to make the motion, please raise your hand.
Commissioner Bergeras?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Staff recommendation. The staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve resolution number 2020-31 and by here certified PIN 190095. Number 2, approve PIN number 19-0095. Would you like me to read the whole thing instead?
No, I was just waiting for Ashley. Ashley, does he need to, he shouldn't have said staff recommends, he should say the Planning Commission
Make a motion.
recommends, correct?
I believe so, yes. It should be that the Planning Commission approves the resolution for that PIN number.
Does he need to redo that, or can we just do that on the minutes that he realizes the error?
I'll add that right now, ma'am.
All right, you start with that, Commissioner Bergeras. That the Planning
Thank you.
Commission-
I'll add that right now. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve
The Planning
resolution.
Commission recommends.
The planning commission approves.
It has nothing to do with the staff, Commissioner Bergeras. The Planning Commission has gone through the deliberations. So we don't mention the staff in this, we mention the Planning Commission recommends.
Okay, I'm only going for what I'm reading from the first word. Planning
That was
Commission-
their wording, but our wording is different.
Thank you, ma'am. Planning Commission approves resolution number 2020-31 and hereby certified use permit PIN 19-0095. Number 2, approved condition use permit PIN 19-0095.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May we have a second? Raise your hand if you'd like to second that. I see.
Commissioner Stefan?
I'll second that.
Thank you. May we call for the vote, please?
Commissioner Bergeras?
Yes.
Commissioner Stefan?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner DeJohnette?
Yes.
Commissioner Sims?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Baker?
Yes.
Chairperson Corsick?
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations. Can we have a staff wrap up, please?
Yes, the planning commission's action tonight is appealable. Any appeal would need to be filed within 15 days. It must be filed in writing, directed to the community development director, and filed along with the appropriate fee. If we receive any appeal, it will be agendized for consideration before the city council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have no other commission business at this time. The next item on the agenda is staff comments. Do we have any staff comments?
None from me. Darren, anything from you?
Nothing from me.
Okay, thank you. The next item,
Say thank you. Appreciate your time.
you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
The next item, the final item, is any additional planning commissioner comments. I'd like to start, and I'd like to thank the tech crew because I know tonight has not been easy. These meetings can go many different ways, and There's always little glitches, and I want to thank you very much for working hard to get this, to be able to move along as smoothly as you can. Good job. Anyone else? Commissioner Sims?
I'd just like to take a note that, we had some discussion about homeless, and I think the term was shifting from one spot to the next spot. And I call that whack-a-mole approach to dealing with a significant problem the city has. I don't have an answer for it. I don't think anybody has an answer for it, but I was wondering, and this is more directed to the staff, is as I drive the 60, I'm starting to see Harbor Freight tents and or Harbor Freight, the blue tarps and the make a shift tent action all along our off ramps and kind of chilling like villains all along the freeway. And I was wondering if, I know you see signs occasionally where you can adopt a highway or something like that. You'll see a contractor's company or the Lions Club or something that they do something. I was thinking, is there a way that works through the morass of insurance and liability or whatnot? But I would imagine that the state has some kind of funding for upkeep of all the state highway, which I would say along our stretch of 60 is sometimes suspect at best. But anyhow, why couldn't the city offer to take care of at least the on-ramps and off-ramps at all of our, like Paris, Sunnymead, Heacock, and all that, at least where the off-ramps are, and to clean those up and not make an attraction, and that would at least keep our, when you come into the city, whether you come in off Alessandro or you come in and off the 60, it's not a pleasant experience at a lot of our off-ramps. So I'm just suggesting that maybe some of the city staff could maybe take it and have the Public Works Department talk with somebody at the Caltrans district and see if there could be some way for the city crews to be able to take care of our on and off ramps.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Anyone else? I see Commissioner Stefan.
I would just like to clarify for some of the residents out there. Oh, wait a minute. I ran into somebody at Lowe's, and he was under the impression that we had approved 50 some dispensaries, and I had to tell him the number was more in 23, 24, and it's 23. And he also didn't know that that it was voted in. He thought that the city council and the planning commission was the ones that were just putting in these dispensaries. And I had to tell him that. So I'd like to let the public know that this is something that, like Commissioner Sims said, our hands are kind of tied as to where they can come in, if they're already designated for that area, how many can come in that area. We have all questioned it. I questioned it early on when they were putting so many on postal, but it's free enterprise. And like Sim said, it's almost like a horse race. Let the ones that are really going to come in and thrive will make it. And if they don't make it, then, there's nothing we can do. But I know a lot of people out there think that the ones on the council and the ones on the planning commission, that we are the ones that are allowing this to come into the city, and we're not. It's something that has already been voted in, and we're just going by all the procedures. And like I told him, if the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, that we really cannot say, no, you cannot have a permit. So I just want to clarify that for some of the people out there. And I did tell him that I was going to ask again about the Yum Yum Donuts. My daughter-in-law said they're putting one in Rubidoux, and we still haven't got those two. So I kind of want to know what's going on with those. I kind of was looking forward to those people coming in. It seemed like they were really a class act. So he equated me to the Yum Yum Donuts. That's how he recognized me. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
I got one.
Commissioner DeJournette? Who's first?
Yes, I do agree with Commissioner Sims and Commissioner Steffens. When the smoke clears, the strongest will stand, and there's nothing wrong with free enterprises. I would like to say also that in our city ordinance 929, which is also mentioned here in this particular project, that we could adopt, or the city could adopt, some type of density to say that we would not allow a certain amount in a certain area, so we wouldn't saturate the area. Again, I do really like Commissioner Sims' comment about, yes, we probably would be really shaking our heads if there was 12 liquor stores on the same block. And we'd be, hey, that's probably a problem. I know this is new to us as a city, but it's something that we could look at because we do have resolution 2018-94 that says we can have a maximum of 43. And, of course, with a maximum of 43, we definitely don't want 20 on the same block. Or maybe we do. So it might be something that we can look at in our own city ordinances to say we can, as a city, take control of our city and say, yes, we will only allow 5 here in one block or 6 in a block or that sort of thing. Just a comment, just a suggestion that we can control our city ordinances.
Thank you. Commissioner Bergaris, did you have a comment?
Yes, ma'am. With that said, Southern Boulevard, eventually one day, it'll be one of the safest places that you could walk on with that many security guards out there and all those bright lights that they need the most. It's just to light up the streets. So hopefully we'll have plenty of security guards out there to watch out for each other. And second, please wear your mask, Moreno Valley residents, because like this, we can stay safe. And many of us would like not to get sick, if we do our part. Please wear your mask wherever you go and have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Commissioner Harris.
Yes, this was in regards to what Commissioner Sims was talking about, the off-ramps and on-ramps to the 60 freeway around Moreno Valley. It does look tacky in a lot of places, and with the tarps and homelessness and stuff. But I just, one thing that I wanted to mention is that a while back, I'm pretty sure the city council authorized funds, which we may not have anymore, but you have to actually, to get onto Caltrans property to do any improvements, you have to pay a fee. And so I just think that maybe sometime in the future we'll be able to, and I don't know if the homeless people would just lay right on top of the, the new landscaping, that if we ever got to the point where we put it in. But hey, I just want, when people are coming up the 60 freeway into Moreno Valley, I want it to look nice on both sides. And I know I talk about that a lot, but it's something that a lot of Moreno Valley came up when we were unincorporated Riverside, and I don't think unincorporated Riverside really cared. And so that's why, I do push for landscaping and who's going to keep it up. And I know the cannabis, it's all in their conditions of approval. But I think that, and then also, whenever we have any big projects, if we can, make sure that those things are covered, which I think they are now. But there's still a lot of places within Moreno Valley that have sidewalks and dirt, and nothing was ever put in certain areas. And I think that's something that we should be looking at. And I'll bring it up from time to time because I still, the city has said that they can put the stuff, they can landscape different areas, but it's the upkeep that they said that they would have problems with. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Has everyone finished their comments? All right, with that, we're going to adjourn the meeting at 7:50 to our next regular meeting of August 13th, 2020. Everybody stay safe. See you then. Bye.
Bye.